Hey guys, like my new contact lens? Not actually, this is a 360 camera. This is specifically a GoPro 360 camera, and you guys guessed it, this week's episode is about 360 content and how you guys can start making bank in this field. Now, a lot of people don't take 360 content that seriously. They kind of see it as a gimmick, but for the ones that do take it seriously and have gotten good at this medium and the specifics around it, they are killing it in the creative space. I'm gonna be sharing today a story of a good friend of mine named Connor who started a company called Combo Bravo, which is specifically a VR and 360 degree content company, and how he went from just traditional production to killing it in the VR space and working with companies like Adidas and Nordstrom and all sorts of other big major label artists. So I'm gonna be sharing his story, and then I'm also gonna give you a little bit of an intro on how you can get started in 360 content. So let's get into it. Woo! So my childhood best friend, Connor, started a company called Combo Bravo, which is arguably the leader in 360 and VR in Toronto. He is like absolutely killing it right now. And I remember a couple years ago, he posted on Facebook, he was just posting traditional videos. And then all of a sudden one day, he posted a 360 degree video. And I remember seeing this and just being like, what is this? How did you make this? And how is it so good? And he started telling me how he was building this brand new company and he was just kind of getting it off the ground. He was going to specialize in 360 degree content. And I remember within a year, he started posting things like just landed a contract with Mountain Dew. And he started working with top line clients in such a short period of time. And why? It's because he specialized in a small niche. No one else was really good. I always eat my hair in these videos. No one else was specializing in 360 degree content in Toronto. So Connor quickly grew because he learned the ins and outs of this medium and all the things that are specific to making 360 degree content. So that's how he was able to kill it and start making bank so quickly. Now, a few things specifically about 360 degree content that not a lot of people think about is that this medium, when you're shooting, you can't have lights, you can't have audio equipment, you can't have the pillows that I have in this shot over here because it's gonna be in the shot. Right now, this looks nice. I picked a backdrop, but like everything around me, it's not that pretty. But when you're shooting 360, you can't have people in the shot and you can't have anything else in the shot. So you have to creatively hide it. And that's a special thing to this medium. So Connor, not only understanding the technical aspects, he has to understand how it actually works from a production standpoint. If you're a director, you can't be in the shot. Normally you can be behind the camera telling the talent what to do. But if you're shooting a story with 360, you have to have some sort of like live stream coming from the camera, and then everybody has to clear the room except for the actors. And then they have to be in another room directing the talent from like across the space. This is a whole new thing. You can't be in the shot. So if you specialize in this, you're gonna get really good and start becoming in demand as people and clients, and especially agencies, are looking for this type of work. Another big thing is how does post-production work? Now you have to actually edit this long video, stitch it together if you have two separate cameras, or in Connor's case, he used to have 10 cameras. It's just like insane how it all works. And that's not including if you needed lights and had to do something special. And now you have to start like editing it out frame by frame, all these lights and anything else you don't want in the frame. So this is a whole new process you have to understand. But because people don't specialize in it, you can charge more and you'll actually be in demand more often because you have this skill set that nobody else has. Now, when Connor first started in 360 degree content, there were no consumer level cameras that you could just buy and be like, cool, easy, I'm gonna start 4K 360 degree. That didn't exist. Connor had to build his own 360 rigs. He had to like get a whole bunch of GoPros, build this crazy mount, and find like power solutions for it. It was like mad science. I was on the phone with Connor. He's like, it was basically mad science, and we were just building this thing, hoping that it would work. And for Connor and his buddy John, who started this company called Combo Bravo, link below, PS, it worked for them. And they started killing it in Toronto and worldwide, essentially. I'm gonna share with you a story. Last year, I went over to Connor's place because I wanted to borrow this 360 camera. PS, Connor, I will give this camera back. I know it's been a year, but you'll get it back. I needed it for this video. We were going on this tourism board shoot, so he lent me this camera. But while we were there, Connor told me, he's like, hey, do you want to see some of the work that we've been producing lately? We just finished this project for Right for Play where Connor flew to the Somalian border to a refugee camp. The stories involved with that are just like a whole nother video. But Connor went to a refugee camp in Ethiopia on the Somalian border, essentially, and actually shot what it was like on this refugee camp in 360. Now, specifically what I remember from that video is that there was this one shot where there were all these kids around you. And I had this video VR set on with this audio and 360-degree audio, and I remember looking everywhere and I was like, oh, this is so cool. I was actually in a spinny chair, so I could kind of go like this and I could see all the kids. I was like just spinning around. From the outside, it's just like me in a spinny chair going around. But I remember being in that moment being like, wow, right now I feel like I'm in Ethiopia. I feel like I'm on the Somalian border, and for a brief moment, I can see what life is like here, and it feels almost real because he's so good at producing HD and 4K footage. It actually feels like you're there. And that's a super special thing about this medium. No other medium can transport you like 360-degree content does. And that's insane. And that's why you should be taking it so seriously now. I really believe that 360-degree content is the future, especially as the mediums on Facebook and YouTube become more accessible to people and people will start getting better setups. It's gonna happen. We're gonna naturally transition. Video's not gonna go away, but 360-degree content is gonna become huge. So start now, start specializing in it, and you can start climbing your way to the top and becoming a pro and positioning yourself as a professional in the space in your area quite quickly. And when I say quickly, it's more like a year or 2 or 4. It's not like, oh, I have a 360-degree camera now, I'm a specialist in 360-degree content, and then the next day you're working with Mountain Dew. It doesn't work like that, and you need the business aspects. But specifically, if you can get good at this and understand everything around it, you'll be able to grow a lot quicker because it's a niche market. So for you, how do you get started in 360-degree content? So the company Insta360 sent me this camera, the Insta360 Nano S, to try out and kind of give some feedback on, and general consensus, it's pretty great. I mean, look at me right now. I'm driving my one wheel in Toronto through a park, and you can kind of get the full experience, and it's actually super stabilized footage. So would I recommend it? 100%. It shoots 4K 20 megapixel photos. It's like mind-blowing. It works with your phone. I can have like a live feed that I can move the 360-degree content around. Look at my hand. There's my hand in the shot. That's so cool. But look, you can see my space, which is like a whole thing. There's the mic up there. But this is like this really cool little 360-degree camera that can kind of be your introduction in this space. Start getting your feet wet with how this whole thing works essentially. Another cool thing about this product is that it actually does live streaming for Facebook and Periscope and YouTube, and you can actually do live streaming to like your family. You could be like on a boat in Thailand and like the waves, and call your mom and she can like watch you. That looks unsafe. That looks unsafe. This is terrifying. I don't like this. Maybe you should pick a better time to call, maybe not on a boat in Thailand. Nonetheless, there's a whole bunch of features to this which would make it quite accessible. Plus, like, look how small it is. That's insane. I think this is the best bang for your buck. I'll link a B&H link below and you can go check it out, and if you wanted to grab one yourself, highly recommend this one. A couple of the other low-cost options are the GoPro Fusion or Garmin VR or the Samsung VR. If you want to start getting into like the high range, which is like what Connor uses, he uses like a $10,000 camera rig, which is called like the Zcam S1 Pro. You can look that up afterwards. That's at like high-end level VR stuff. But this is like $200. You can get into it right away and just even see if you like this medium. So if you do pick up one of these 360 cameras, what I would recommend to you, and what Connor told me, is that just go out there and try as many different shots as possible. Try shots that you don't think will work, because sometimes those are the ones that actually do work, and you have these really super cool creative results. So just go and try everything, bring it with you everywhere, and just take it out from time to time, because this is one of those brand new mediums. It's just the beginning for VR, and I highly recommend that you get into it. If you guys saw value in this video, please press like. It actually makes a difference. Subscribe. Would love for you to join along, and we'll catch you next time. Peace out, everybody. Woo!